Oh, welcome. It's so good to meet you. I was really looking forward to this, and so thank you for taking the time. I was wondering if you could tell me a little bit about what you love to invest in and what you're really passionate about.
Obvious has roots in incubating companies like Twitter. 4 years ago, we started a venture fund. We started this venture fund with this belief that the most valuable and impactful companies of our times are companies which are solving humanity's biggest problems. We invest in entrepreneurs who are reimagining different sectors of our economy through disruptive solutions and moving the world forward in positive ways. We call these entrepreneurs world positive entrepreneurs, and this kind of investing world positive investing. Wow. So that's what we do at Obvious Ventures. In terms of what I'm excited about, around this whole idea of solving biggest problems of our times, we have established 3 buckets of types of companies which we are looking to invest. Theme number 1 is sustainable systems, which is all around reimagining resource-intensive industries. As an example, we have invested in a company which is building gem-quality diamonds in a lab as a way to disrupt mining industries. Uh-huh. So these are 2, 3, 4-carat diamonds, and you don't need to have a mined diamond. You can have the same quality diamond through this company. Second area of focus for us is health, and there we look at investing in future of food and future of health. So one of the investments in future of food is a company around which is making plant-based proteins, a company called Beyond Meat, which is a leader in that space. In future of health, we are investors in a company called Virta Health, which is reversing type 2 diabetes. And then third bucket of or thematic area of focus for us is people power, where we look at future of work, future of money, and future of learning. In future of work, we are investors in a company called Gusto, which is a payroll HR tech stack targeted towards SMBs. In future of money, we are investors in a company called LTSE, which is building a new stock exchange around this whole idea of long-term institutional building and long-term investors, like so matching those together. And so that's what we do as a firm. We're looking for these entrepreneurs who are fascinated by a big problem and want to come build a company which will be very impactful.
And it sounds like you're creating really good karma too. I'm a Buddhist, so I'm picking up on all these great social issues that you're supporting and investing in. So that must feel really good to be extra passionate about, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think a lot of us here, we have been very fortunate to have been involved in companies which have had transformative effects in the business world. So I was involved in companies like Patagonia and Zipcar. My partner built Blogger, Twitter, and now he's building Medium. Another my partner was a CEO of a company called Zoom, which was a money transfer company. And so through all these experiences, we have learned the best and most interesting companies are companies where you are doing something of high purpose, and more and more we are finding millennials want to work in these kind of companies, and there are a lot of other benefits in terms of building a great culture, attracting top talent. So that's what gets us excited as a firm.
Really fabulous. And I have a special personal interest in supporting and promoting venture capitalists, which is my main network, and also supporting community within our ecosystem in the Bay Area and Silicon Valley. And I think that 2017 has been quite a challenging year. Big media has not been our friend, and there's been some very negative press out there. I've noticed a real drop in attendances for venture capital conversations, and that disappoints me because personally I find them very interesting. But also I think that the venture capitalists do add an incredible layer of wisdom, experience that no one else in the ecosystem has. Running fintech panels, obviously I'm being carried by the throw of the ICOs, and people are saying, well, we don't need venture capitalists anymore. However, I don't see that wisdom in that community yet that is in the investors. And I'm just wondering, where do you think we're going in 2018 and onwards? And what do you think we can do about, building up that venture capital reputation? It used to be a cottage industry when I first came 8 years ago. Now, of course, it's global and it's huge and it's probably gone rampant. But I'm just particularly concerned about our ecosystem here in the Bay Area. Do you have any advice or ideas or your perspective around this?
Yeah, I think there's like multiple questions there. So let's start with number one, which is the role of venture capitalists and role of early stage company building. I think to build amazing, great companies, it takes a village. It takes great entrepreneurs. It takes investors and folks who could be helpful at the board level, at governance level, and great employees building these transformative companies. So to me, we need to kind of acknowledge that it just does not happen by itself. It takes a village. Number two, early stage as a kind of area is so critical for any economy, because those are kind of companies dream about what the future looks like, and we as investors and entrepreneurs and employees can kind of create that future which we want in the future, right? So it has a huge social effect which early stage plays in forming the world we want to live in future. In terms of kind of challenges recently, Silicon Valley is kind of beacon of hope in a lot of places in the world, like in terms of what we've been able to achieve. But what has recently happened is concerning, and it's critical that we as a community have strong moral compass of what is right, what is not. And not only as investors do the right thing, but also encourage anybody we touch to do the right thing and build companies with strong moral values and moral compass. I'm a huge believer of, given I used to work at Patagonia and those kind of companies, that value-based leadership is so critical of building an organization for the long term. In terms of what I'm excited about and where I feel the world is headed in 2018, I think a couple of areas where I've been spending a lot of time is one is in technologies like AI or robotics, mostly in the context of human augmentation. And my thesis is, how do you kind of make humans superhumans? Which gets me excited. I think the narrative of just replacement is not kind of interesting to me personally. What is exciting is how do you improve human capabilities. So that's one area. Second area, which most recently I've been digging and trying to kind of understand more. You mentioned ICOs and what's happening there. Is this whole notion of is there a way to reimagine corporations? Corporations have been kind of built a certain way, and blockchain provides an opportunity to build open source networks and create economies around those networks, which means the whole corporation might look very differently in the future, or it will not be even a corporation. So,
yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I think which also could mean inclusion, which may mean hey, people who are part of that network get rewarded for the work they do, and has a much more inclusive orientation versus kind of centralization, which unfortunately has happened as part of first phase of internet.
Yeah. And so usually with the VCs, I ask if that you have a funny story or an unusual or weird story about being a venture capitalist that our audience usually likes to listen to.
Yeah, I think this is one of the kind stories which has kept me and a lot of my fellow team members entertained. I got this wonderful guy who sent me a toaster oven with a picture of me with embedded picture of mine, and he really got my attention. And was very entertaining for the whole team.
And what does the toast like? Does it taste any better?
He also, I don't have it here right now, but he also sent a actual toast, which there was a warning, do not eat, with my picture embedded. So that was a great way of, his way of getting my attention.
Yeah. And did you invest in his company?
I think he was looking for a job, but once I looked at his profile, was not the right fit for what we were looking for. But I was very impressed by his creativity.
Yeah. Very creative. Very creative. Thank you so much, Vishal, for talking with us today, and I really appreciate it. And I hope it's a fantastic year next year.
Thanks very much.